Yeah.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
صل على محمد.
أزور سيدي ومولاي ومعتمدي ومثواي ذخري وذخيرتي في آخرتي ودنياي زيارة مني ونيابة عن والدي وعن والد والدي وعن جميع أقربائي وأصدقائي وجيراني وخاصة بمن أوصاني بالدعاء قربة وطاعة إلى الله تعالى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد المرسلين، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة سيدتي نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور، السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي قلت بفنائك، عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله وأن يثبتني عندكم قدما صدق في الدنيا والآخرة، وأسأله أن يبلغني المقام المحمود لكم عند الله، وأن يرزقني طلب ثاني مع إمام هدى ظاهر ناطق بالحق منكم، وأسأل الله بحقكم وبالشأن الذي لكم عنده أن يعطيني بمصابي بكم أفضل ما يعطي مصابا بمصيبته، مصيبة ما أعظمها وأعظم رزيتها في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض. اللهم اجعلني في مقامي هذا ممن تناله منك صلوات ورحمة ومغفرة. اللهم اجعل محياي محيا محمد وآل محمد، ومماتي ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إن هذا يوم تبركت به بنو أمية وابن آكلة الأكباد اللعين بن اللعين، على لسانك ولسان نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله في كل موطن وموقف وقف فيه نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم لعن أبا سفيان ومعاوية ويزيد بن معاوية، عليهم منك اللعنة أبد الآبدين. وهذا يوم فرحت به آل زياد وآل مروان بقتلهم الحسين صلوات الله عليه. اللهم فضاعف عليهم اللعن منك والعذاب الأليم. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك في هذا اليوم وفي موقفي هذا وأيام حياتي بالبراءة منهم واللعنة عليهم وبالموالاة لنبيك وآل نبيك عليه وعليهم السلام. اللهم لعنهم ولا ظالمين ولا حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ذلك. اللهم لعن العصابة التي جاهدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله. اللهم لعنهم جميعا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. اللهم خص أنت ولا ظالم باللعن مني، وابدأ به أولا ثم لعن الثانية والثالثة والرابع. اللهم لعن يزيد خامسا، ولعن عبيد الله بن زياد وابن مرجانة وعمر بن سعد وشمرا وآل أبي سفيان وآل زياد وآل مروان إلى يوم القيامة. سجود. اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين لك على مصابهم، الحمد لله على عظيم رزيتي. اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود، وثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا هجرا دون الحسين عليه السلام برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. Assalamu alaikum, sisters. Thank you all for attending. Allah ajuakum wa ahsan alaikum al-azaa. We would like to welcome Sister Shyrose. But just before we welcome her on the number, I'd like to give you a little bit of an introduction on who she is, so we know our speaker. In terms of education, Sister Zakira Shyrose Jaffer is a graduate of York University and holds a bachelor's degree in psychology and sociology and a master's degree in the field of education. She speaks several languages including English, Urdu, Hindi, Gujarati, Kuchi, Sawali, I don't even know some of the meaning. Never heard of these languages. French, Punjabi. She has spent the summer of 2015 in Qom, Iran, studying at the world-famous women's seminary, Jamiat al-Zahra, under the supervision of the nation's top published scholars and professors, including Sheikh Shumar. By profession, she lectures on Islam at mosques, universities, churches, and interfaith gatherings, and also recites majalises in Urdu, English, and Gujarati. She has published a freelance writer. She's a published freelance writer, motivational speaker, and anti-racist educational counsellor by profession. She conducts workshops on race and cultural sensitivity, and often appears on TV programs, panels, and radio talks. The list goes on. She's absolutely amazing. She's here from the US. We have been honoured and privileged to have her, and inshallah we'll all benefit from her experience and words of wisdom. Please welcome her with a salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If we can remove the echo, right? Inshallah, the echo is gone by now. Let us send a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. My dear sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is truly an honor to be here from Toronto, Canada, all the way, to be with you all and to have the honor of spending these next few days with you. Very precious days. And truly we are blessed indeed. As you saw that I kissed the minbar before I came on it. Today the kiss was even more precious because we have been deprived of the opportunity to be on this minbar for the last 2 years while we dealt with this pandemic that made it impossible to come to our masajid, our Imam Barkas, our Hussainiyas. So let us put this in perspective and realize how blessed we are today to be here in person, to feel the energy, to feel the love, and to see these precious faces that we couldn't see for at least 2 years. And even now, the danger is still there. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on these blessed days of Muharram to release us from this test, from this illness, so that we can hug each other. How much we miss hugging each other. And there is this awkwardness, isn't it? Where you don't know if you can hug someone or not. Are you going to endanger them with your hug? Look at the times that we're in. And this is just my preamble before I begin the Majlis, because I wanted to say salam to you all, and to realize and to make each other realize that today is a very, very blessed opportunity that we have. Some of us have been, not quite ready for this day. We're not ready. We end up taking the clothes out, the black clothes, and we end up, there's a lot of struggle to get to the Husseiniya on time. And there is this kind of hesitancy as well, because Shaitan is not going to make this easy to happen. He's going to make sure that we feel some doubt, some hesitancy, some laziness. We'll watch it from home. We'll watch it another day. Why Muharram? Why again? But remember that this is something that has to keep going. Otherwise, we are lost. And we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for opening the doors of our Hussainiyas and allowing us to come here. And it is not just us. Do you know that the narrations tell us that there is a mother who is restless in her grave? And that mother waits for this day. And she leaves her resting place. But what a resting place it is. The grave of Fatima is destroyed. It is just some rocks and stones. There is no rest for that mother. And she waits for this day. If we have felt any hesitancy to come here today, realize that Fatima leaves her grave to come to these places. And she says, "Oh, my lovers. Oh, the lovers of Abu Abdullah Hussein. Oh, the lovers of Ali. Oh, the lovers of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Remember what this is about and never forget." And Fatima comes and joins us at these places of worship. In the beginning, often we see spaces where people should be sitting, but there's so much room available still. And inshallah, they will fill up. But never ever think that these are empty places. For Fatima has promised that she will come to every place where there is a dhikr of Hussein. And she will not come just by herself, but she will bring an entourage of angels, selected angels, who will have been given this gift, that they can leave heaven to come to this heaven on earth. And when they come here, they say assalam to everyone who comes. That is why it is important to come to the actual Husseiniya. It is important to actually be here because the angels are here. Fatima herself is here, giving us a nod, saying salam as we enter this sacred land. And each step you take from home is a step towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That walk we do from Najaf to Karbala, this is no less than that when we leave our homes. And when you come here, understand that we're joining those angels, and they come and they do dua for us. Because it is not easy to leave our homes. It is not easy to put aside everything and come here and to be in the moment. These are challenges that you have surmounted by being here. And those who are watching online, many are watching from around the world. God bless them. From Australia, from India, from Canada, from anywhere on the earth, where sometimes it's 4 in the morning, 2 in the morning. But They are awake to hear this dhikr. This is not something to be taken lightly. And as we are here, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we thank Bibi Fatima alayhi salam for allowing us to be her lovers, for allowing us sinners to enter this sacred place. Understand what this is. This is for the chosen ones. And when you come in through those doors, consider yourself blessed. Blessed to be hearing the dhikr. Blessed to be guided. Blessed to be, inshallah, inspired and motivated and back aligned on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. We thank Bibi and we salute her and we give her our salam, Bibi. Welcome. And we thank you, Bibi, for allowing us to be your lovers, and Bibi, accept our love. Accept our salam. Accept this broken worship we often do that is half-baked often. It's not perfect at all. You perfect it for us, Bibi. Change our intentions if we were dragged here. Astaghfirullah, sometimes we have to be forced. If we came here for something else, make it now the real reason why we should be here. You make our intentions pure, oh baby. You make us who we should be. And remember, when you came here, you wonder, why are we doing this? Astaghfirullah, these questions come to mind. It is because Bibi Fatima alayhi salam prayed for this. And her dua is very powerful, my sisters. When she prays for something, you see what it does. 1400 years later, we're still here. We're still crying. We're still doing what she wished for. Ya Allah, let there be a community that cries for my Hussein. Let there be a community that never forgets my child and the sacrifice that he gave for Islam. Maybe we are here because you prayed for us. Now give us the tawfiq to live up to that. Make our feet walk towards the Husayniyah. Allow our bodies to bow in submission. Allow our hearts to open. These next few days are for the heart to open, and inshallah the mind to open, and then inshallah the path will get easier and smoother. Because when we take a step towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He takes many towards us. And inshallah, we will use this opportunity to become better people. Let us send a salawat to Bibi Fatima alayha salam, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Sister, I find there is the microphone. Can we do something about the sound? Sometimes there's I don't know how to explain it. I don't know, there's a bit of a sharp, hard to explain. Some kind of sharp sound at the end of each sentence. Maybe it's the treble. Yeah? Okay. So let us begin with a Fatiha for all those mothers and all those who taught us what is Majlis Hussein. Those who helped us to get here and taught us that today we all are here in the Majlis Hussein. Let us do a Fatiha, al-Fatiha for all the marhumeen, especially for the mothers and the fathers who have passed away, who taught us to attend the Majlis Hussein. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Sirat al-Mustaqim. Sirat al-Ladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayr al-maghdubi alayhim. Wa ad-dallin. صلوات الله محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. Usually we don't carry the ladies' majalis online, but there have been so many people who have asked. Every time there's a, I don't know. So we have made this effort to make it an online streaming only because there's so many ladies who have asked and men too who are very interested in this topic. So alhamdulillah, we are doing this and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us, that we do not do anything incorrect. There's nothing wrong in a woman preaching live, but it's just that the musibah it's not recommended for the females to recite that in front of males. So maybe towards the end we will stop the streaming, just so that we do not cross any boundaries and we do whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. So we seek His pleasure. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli This is the surah named the city. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears upon the city of Mecca. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears upon anything, it means that something very strong is coming. Whenever He swears by, for example, time, wal asr, where He swears by something, He takes it as a witness. And He is about to give you something that makes a person become alert right away. It's a change in the style that He's speaking to us in the Holy Quran. But when a swear and an oath is taken by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it makes us stop and realize He's about to tell us something important. And He swears upon that city of Mecca. And He says that man has been created in a sense, in a state of distress. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Surely we have created man in a state of distress. This is something for us to realize right away, that life is going to be full of difficulty. It is designed to be a test so that we can get to higher levels. We're going somewhere. It's a destination we're aiming towards. We didn't come here with no purpose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. You've come from me and you will come back to me. Reminding us that I am sending you on a journey on this earth and now you're going to come back. We are on a journey. How many times we have heard this? But often we forget we are on a journey. We kind of get distracted. We kind of forget what this whole thing is about. We think we're here just to have some fun, maybe. Everything should work out. Everything we want should come to us, and it should come very easily. And time again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a jolt. And we realize, oh, it's not supposed to be easy. It was getting too easy. Look at how we do it. We often say, why did this problem come in my life? This was supposed to be easy. This was supposed to be smooth. But something happens and we realize it was smooth for a little bit of time. It wasn't meant to be smooth all the time. We do want it to be smooth all the time. I'm always inspired by this explanation by Imam Ali alayhi salam. Send a salawat, please. Where Imam Ali alayhi salam tells us about this journey of life. It's very inspiring because it has taught me what it means, this journey of life. It has really inspired me because it's allowed me to think of it in a different way. Where Imam says that this journey is a difficult journey. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي قَبْضٍ. We have made human beings in a state of distress. The narrations tell us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually showed Jibreel, the archangel, this path ahead. When man was created, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told his angel, look at what I have ahead for this human being. And Jibreel was astounded when he saw that path. He said, this is difficult. How are they going to get through this? And that's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained that this will be to show that I have created human beings with infinite abilities. The human mind doesn't even use not even 10% of what it's made for. The brain is not used to its utmost ability. And yet, look at what human beings have been able to accomplish. And look at the dire difficulties and situations that they're able to get through. They're able to withstand. Look at the stories of survivors. They're able to withstand hunger, thirst. Look at the story of Karbala. It is an example that a human being is designed to overcome the odds, no matter what you put in front of them. So, oh shaitan, when you make this challenge that you will come from in front of them, and from behind them, and from their right and from their left, you don't know who you are dealing with. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has created this man. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. We have created man from the best of molds. What do you think? Why have I told you to bow to this particular creation of mine? This is the best that it gets. And watch what happens. Even you, we're not going to take you out of the equation. You do what you do. And you will see that man, human beings, will love me despite the odds. They will come back to me even if they stray from that path. And today's Majlis is about the Sirat al-Mustaqim. The next few days we're going to be talking about the Sirat al-Mustaqim. And we're going to talk about all the difficulties that come on this path and how it is difficult to stay on this path. And yet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us all the formulas we need. Every difficulty, Allah has given us a weapon. And look at the weapon He has given the believer, that every day, pray 5 times a day, multiple times say, Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. and guide us on the straight path. It is a dua that we do every single day, multiple times a day. Allah has given us the weapon for the believers. Ask. Ask when you're shaking on that path. Ask when you feel that you're not even on the path anymore, you're lost. Get your GPS working. Get your TomTom working. That global positioning system that can take us back on that straight path. We lose our way. Happens. Allah is ready for that, accepting of that, and understands that human beings, I know, I've created you in this difficulty. I've put you in there to show you what you are made of. And when you withstand difficulty, say Alhamdulillah. When you talk to people who have lost children, who have lost spouses, who have lost so much, and yet they're smiling and they're surviving, and they still love God, that is a thing of beauty. This is why Bibi Zainab alayhi salam said this. She said, I saw nothing but beauty. The beauty of a human being when under stress still comes out loving God. That is beautiful. When we give up, when we let go, when we change the road, we are making it harder for ourselves because you are going to come back. Inshallah. The dua of Fatima, that this community will not go astray. The sacrifice of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, so that you and I can continue to be followers and believers. And there is so much to say over the next few days. Today, I want to talk about those social pressures that we're all experiencing. And this is not a majlis for the youth. This is for all of us, of all ages. Because who isn't living here in this 21st century? If you're watching me right now, you're here, alive, alhamdulillah. And very much in this crazy mix, where there's a pandemic going on, where there's social pressures, where there's social media, where there's all sorts of things that can trigger us and sway us and mislead us. We're all in this together. The way we were in that pandemic, and we still are coming out of it, inshallah, we were all in it. The entire world made us realize we're all in this together. Not only do we need to keep the earth safe, and not only do we need to worry about the ozone layer and the global warming and the mess we're creating, the carbon footprint, all that stuff, because we're realizing the physical destruction we're causing to our planet. Not only that do we need to worry about because we're in this together, but we also need to worry about the morality and the lack of ethics and the lack of values and the dilution of the principles that we hold steadfast. We must hold on to because we're lovers of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. We are followers of this faith, this very beautiful faith. So Imam Ali alayhi salam explains that this path is a very difficult path. It's a sirat al-mustaqim, absolutely, it's a straight path. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't meander often. That doesn't mean it goes off the course. It's a long path. If you stick to it, don't get off it. Don't take any exit. No left, no right. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Remember those fables of the little girl who was told, don't stay off the straight path. Little Red Riding Hood? What happens when she strays, when she gets distracted? It is a metaphor for us. And on this journey of life, we need to hold on for dear life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, hold on to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When does a person hold on to a rope? When they're falling. When they're in danger of falling. When their life is in danger. We are in danger. And Imam Ali alayhi salam says in Nahjul Balagha that this road is fraught with difficulty. On this path you will meet liars and cheaters and haters and bullies. You will meet people who will steal from you, who will hurt you, who will lie to you, who will make you cry, who will make false promises, who will tell you this is where it's at, not where you are. Come on this side. This is the right road. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, O children of Adam, have I not told you not to listen to him? He is your open enemy. This is the straight path. And he has led so many of us astray. Don't be those people. When you find yourself doing sajda, when you find yourself doing salah, when you find yourself doing something that is from the faith, whether it's charity, anything, thank Allah. Allah, you gave me the ability, the inspiration, the motivation, the realization that I have to do this. Because there are so many who are not right now doing what I am. Consider yourself blessed every time you follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what happens, Imam Ali says, on this path is that you will meet people who will take you off that path. And then what happens after that is that you will find yourself weak. But realize that Allah will give you something on this way to make the path easier. This is a big concept to understand, because we think everything has to be smooth and easy, and then some difficulty comes, we deal with it, we'll go forward. That is why every time something goes wrong, we call it a monkey wrench. Where did this come from? It's thrown me off. We think, why did this happen? This wasn't meant to be like this. It's supposed to be perfect. To make it that much more palatable sometimes, that you can even swallow the pain, that you can even take it, you can do sabr, you can know it's going to get better. Allah gives all sorts of things to his believers. And so what happens is, he says, you're born completely in a state of distress, unable to feed yourself. You come into the world crying, what is this? Where am I? Where have I come? I don't understand anything. Baby is crying. Allah gives parents. Allah gives a mother that feeds with her hand. And then holds you so that you can walk. And then what happens? Human is able to walk on his own. That path where he is now independent is the smooth part that Allah blessed you with, so that this portion of life can be traversed. It's something to think about. Because soon Allah will give you another blessing. He will give you more independence. He will give you education. He will give you a job. He will give you a home. He will give you friends. He will give you good things along the way. So that every time it feels like, I can't go on, He'll give you something better and better and better. But often the things that you had to begin with, you look behind and they're gone. They're no longer there. And human beings lament. Why was this taken away from me? Why were my parents taken away from me? Where's the money I used to have? Where's the strength I used to have? Now I've become weak. What's going on? The answer is, Allah gave you those things so that you could get through that portion of life. He never said it'll be forever. He wants to make you independent. So these crutches that we have in this world, often we hold on to them too much, and then we cannot do it on our own. The pressures of this society right now are so scary right now. And we know them. No one has to tell us. We live here, we know. But there is a great pressure to be something that we're not. Even those who are not Muslims will tell you, this is a lot of pressure. We're not supposed to be perfect. We're not supposed to be thin beyond belief. We're not supposed to have flawless everything. But the pressure is immense. Why do you think the rate of suicide is so great in even the most successful people? Because to keep being so perfect and successful is a draining thing. That's not what we're here for. The social pressures of this era are dangerous indeed. They're telling us that the way to be acceptable is to be beautiful, but beauty is a certain type of beauty. That's why the big wave comes. Black is beautiful. Because for so long society told us, black is not beautiful. Black is not strong. Black is not free. Black is not desirable. And so to reclaim the strength, many people have had to come up and make a revolution and say, that was unfair, that was wrong. But there is something happening that right now, everything society asks for us is against what Islam has taught us. Society tells us, wearing that short skirt and wearing tight clothes and accentuating every part of the body and doing all these things and contouring the face for hours to get the perfect cheekbones is success. The pressure to look good, the pressure to look good in every way. If you look at the TikToks out there, even the house has to be perfect. Even the decoration, even the salads, everything has to be so perfect that people are making an effort to make that food shine. There's a whole industry, by the way, that's all about making food look juicy and succulent on video and in pictures. Of course, there's a whole industry to make us look good in pictures and in videos. You can actually make the eyebrows wider, this face smaller. There are apps anybody can use. So you realize what you see is not what is real. There's a deception going on. Someone telling us this is the way it is to be. And psychology tells us that when you put this kind of pressure on a human being to be something they're not, you put so much stress on them that they can blow. Because the emotional stress can make a person unable to function. And one of the lectures in the next few days will be about those anxiety and the depression, the triggers, the mental health that is at stake right now. Why so much right now? Why? Because absolutely the pressure cooker is getting much more pressured. Anything that has pressure will give you a headache, it'll make you blow. Provided you don't let these pressures get to you and you realize there's something being done to me here. Someone is trying to trigger me and push me to be something I am not. And the emotional and cognitive dissonance that happens. What is this word dissonance? When something is not the same. The two things are not the same. They're not congruent. There's a dissonance. What happens? It's like it's not balanced. How do I make it the same? Society says be this, but my religion says be this. Allah says be this. The Quran says this. My Imam say this. But society says this is great. This is the way to be. What happens to the human being? The human being sometimes tries to lead two lives. Haven't we all done that? Where you hear something and hear something else. And what happens is leading these multiple lives sometimes, these various faces that we put on in the world, makes us unable to understand who the real we is. Who am I now? Am I this person who is at home? Am I this person who comes to the Majlis, I was saying, and is completely crying and completely subservient and loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or am I that person who, when I go out there, has to take this all off and hang out with the people and not even tell them destination is, then you are lost. Might just stop the car and say, you know what, I'm not doing any of it. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, in a very famous hadith, he says, Ya Allah, have mercy on that person who has knowledge of where he was, knowledge of what he is, and knowledge of where he is going. Give that person more. Give them hidayah. Give them strength and motivation because they have been reflecting. Reflection is everything. Meditation is everything. Thinking is everything. But you know, this society doesn't let us have a moment of peace. You go to a shop, there's music playing. You go anywhere, there's loud sounds. You go anywhere, there's social media. There are the billboards nowadays. In the olden days, we used to maybe have a written billboard. Now when you're driving, the billboards are moving images. They're videos. How are you supposed to drive when there is so much going on around you? Plus a phone that makes you want to look at it. Look at the distractions that can cause us to swerve and self-destruct. But that person who takes the time to think and says, where have I come? What is this? Who am I? What have I done? That is a moment of truth. It's a life-changing moment. And I've talked to so many people who've made huge changes in their lives. And it's mind-blowing. But they've stopped for a moment and said, why am I in this place? Why am I in a home where people are playing loud music on the day of Ashura? Why have I married into this family that has taken me away from what I was all about? There are people who tell me that even the huge health changes that they made, stop smoking cold turkey. Because the x-ray was shown, look at what's happened to your lungs. What have I done? I did this to myself. Zalamtu nafsi. This is what Imam Ali says to us in the Quran. I have done dhulm on my own soul. Oh my Lord, what did I do? And then this month comes and puts us back in perspective. This is a very blessed month. It helps us get back on that sirat al-mustaqim. And when we say astaghfirullah rabbi wa atubu alayhi, Allah, now I was off, I did something bad, but I reorient myself towards you. Now my GPS, my TomTom has said recalculating and put me back where I was supposed to be. Sometimes it's very hard to get back on. A lot has to be undone in order to get back. Sometimes we're off for a whole hour because we went so off the straight path. Don't make it harder. Because it's just going to be that much more a time waste. Special time that could have been used to worship and to stay focused. And when those difficulties come, realize, oh, now I'm in the state that I was in. I need more help. Allah, give me some of those blessings I need so that the road can be a little bit more easier ahead. Recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown us that there is a straight path. The fastest way to get there is to stay on that path. And the Quran is full of these reminders that stay steadfast. Remember who you are, remember what you are doing. And when you are on a journey, you be prepared for it. This means not just having the wajibat under our belts, because that's very important. The armor of salah and fasting and charity and ziyarah and hajj and umrah, all these things are keeping us grounded every single day. But it's also doing some intellectual thinking, realizing something's happening here. Someone's trying to push my buttons, someone's trying to take me off. If you're not in that sense of alert, kind of thing. When you are ready, you are defensive. You realize, wait, this person is taking me somewhere else. Be alert. Be aware that this road it's going to be fraught with people waiting, those liars and cheaters. Abu Dhar, a very close companion of the Holy Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said to the people he called out once, he said, gather around, I have something to give you, some advice which I have heard from my Holy Prophet. Come to me, everyone, and everyone gathered around him. And he said, listen, this is very important. He said, don't you know that a person who goes on a journey, he prepares for it. And that person who doesn't take things for the road, he doesn't take the food and the small things. Look, when we travel, we need that little adapter, and we need this and we need that. We're like, how could I forget this? On the journey of life, when a difficulty comes and we don't know how to deal with it, and we start doing kufr and saying, Ya Allah, you're not fair. Astaghfirullah, we have moved from the tenets of the faith. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has reminded us that Allah is just. And that when we start to call him unfair, we have taken ourselves off. For that moment, God forbid we die. We have died a death of a disbeliever. Because a believer never thinks that Allah is unfair. Knows that Allah is always working to perfect him. Often people who are in authority, our parents, our teachers, we often say, why do they do this to us? You look back and you say, thank God for that teacher who always made me dot my I's and cross the T's. That teacher who said, this doesn't make sense, figure this out, give me the reference. Where did you copy this from? This isn't your own work. Made me alert about the way I write. And that parent who said, you need to be disciplined in what you eat and how you sleep and what you say, and your manners need to be exemplary. And it was like, why do you make my life so hard? We look back and we say, wow, that was how I got to be the person that I am now, subhanAllah. Because it isn't easy to become a doctor or a lawyer or anything overnight. Ask those who have studied. They spent nights and nights studying, working, trying to get to the next exam and the exam after that and the exam after that. So this journey cannot be easy. We need to keep working, making ourselves better and better and better. And Abu Dhar says that if you take these provisions with you, your path will become easier. And they said, what should we do? And he said that learn to fast on an extremely hot day. Learn to make do without things. Learn to deal with that heat and the hunger and the thirst. That will get you ready for the day of judgment. Because it's going to be like that for thousands of years. As we wait for the day of accounting. But even here, there will be metaphorically days when it's going to get very hot and very hungry. We're going to be very hungry and thirsty, metaphorically. Things will not be perfect, but we need to get through that stretch of time and not let the social pressures get to us. Psychology tells us that there are things like group pressure, when the entire group is doing something. And this happens even for us adults. There's a social pressure to do a certain thing. There's political pressure, emotional pressure. There is that social pressure to behave a certain way, to look a certain way, to go to certain places that are not what our faith dictates. And when society does this, there's something called informational pressure. They work on making you think that, hey, that makes sense, that this is the right way to be. They're working very hard to intellectually, and then through subliminal messages, and through so many videos, and so many celebrities doing it, and so many people doing it, and all the people who did it are sounding having such a great time. That the intellect says, that makes sense. And you know what the problem is? We didn't learn what our Holy Quran told us. Because if we studied it that well, we would understand that that makes sense. When I was talking to a youth who changed his life completely at the age of 25, reading the Holy Quran, reading the Nahjul Balagha all the time, and I say to him, wow, this is what you're doing now? And I feel awe at such a person. That they have realized, I need to know what God told me. I left this book and didn't understand what it was all about. Did that, tried that wasn't a good idea. That was destruction. Now I want to see what Allah had to offer me, which I ignored all my life. And salute to those young people who take time out of their busy lives, which can be easily full of fun. And they say, I want to know what the Quran says. And now it's much more easier because there are indexes that tell you exactly how to find something in the Quran that is about something. And the social pressures of beauty and the social pressures of that social influence that the influencers are putting on us. Every vice right now has become okay. Forget okay, it's become desirable. There was a time, a certain type of dress was for women of ill repute. If you saw them wear those kinds of heels, that kind of dress, you would recognize this is a woman of ill repute. Oh, no, astaghfirullah. But now that has become normal. Normalized that women from good homes would be wearing those same kind of shoes and the same kind of boots and the same kind of attire that was once a signal that this is a bad woman. Have you realized that? There are actually movies about this, about a woman who goes on for a night to the nightclub, but then she loses her phone in her car, and what happens? Everyone mistakes her for a bad woman. The whole night she's out, she's realizing that her dress spoke volumes about her. And Islam has given us every tool to protect us. That we look at every angle of ourselves and say, this needs to be protected, this needs to be protected. Lest I do something that is not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has expected from me. And you know, when this social pressure happens and the standards of this has to be and this has to be and this has to be, otherwise we're not good enough. Every advertisement is about, oh, you don't have one of these, you gotta have one of these. Oh, you can't, you should have, this is the best that there is. So society is showing us that this is what you should be going for when we need to be on the sirat al-mustaqim. And the pressure there is that then we start comparing ourselves. And so psychology and sociology tells us that the social comparison is what kills us. Because you end up comparing yourself to someone who's better than you, what happens? You feel inferior. Or you start comparing yourself to someone who's less than you, which is what happens to us who are on social media and seeing people who are having such a great time. Like, I don't have all this, they're much better than me. Or those who have it and they're like, here's my designer purse, here I am in the Maldives, I'm here, and I'm having such a great time, and I'm rich, and what happens to that person? They start to feel very superior, a superiority complex. Those people who think they're all that, either way, it's dangerous. And Islam is a religion that teaches us the middle path. The straight path and the life of moderation. Not this much, not that much. And always balancing ourselves. The 60th Imam Jaffer has said, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. That a believer has to consider himself as if he's on a seesaw, always in a state of fear if Allah is unhappy with him, and then in a state of, all right, alhamdulillah, reassured that Allah is going to forgive me, He's okay with me, I'm pleasing Him. Always between those two, if he stays, he will stay balanced. And there is something called the contrast effect. Every time we are confronted by these social pressures, we are feeling that dissonance, and that contrast is a jarring thing. So psychologists tell us it is like hearing something, a very soft sound, and then suddenly a loud shrieking sound. What happens? It causes that dissonance. It's like seeing a beautiful soft color and then a sharp color, a bright color. When you keep doing that to the human being again and again, they feel very, very stuck and very, very pressured. Imam Hussein alayhi salam was also living in such an environment. The pressures were immense. And look at what Imam Hussein alayhi salam witnessed in his life. As a child, he saw that burning door fall on his mother. He saw her lose the baby. He saw the people turn against his father. He saw the vacuum that was left after the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He saw every kind of atrocity. And when his brother Hassan, with that poison in his system that made him vomit blood, Imam Hussein saw that with his own eyes, and he said, Ya Hassan, I cannot see you like this. Ya Hassan, what have they done to you? He said, oh my brother, this poison that I have had, it makes pieces of my liver come out. The enemy has done this to me, brother, and it hurts. I'm in so much pain. But oh Hussein, if you think this is a calamity, oh Hussein, there is no day like yours. Oh Hussein, what they will do to you, Hussein. There is no worse thing possible. There will be no day like yours. When Imam was in Medina and they were pressuring him to succumb, and he said, no, this is not what Islam stands for. This is not what Islam, I cannot accept Yazid. A man like me can never bow down to a man like him. There is no way on earth. And he saw that the people had left the straight path. And he saw the political pressure upon him and the emotional pressure. We will kill you. We will kill your family, your lovers. And then what he hears, what happens to Muslim ibn Aqil. Thousands abandon him. He's all alone, crying, Assalamu alaikum, ya Aba Abdullah. Someone get the message to Hussein to do not come here. Tell my Mawla, tell him the people have lied and cheated, and his sons are on the streets. Father, where are you? And his daughter becomes an orphan. Yet Imam Hussein doesn't succumb. He stays on that Sirat al-Mustaqim. And he says, I'm not doing this for any difficulty for society. This is not for fasad. And this is for amr bil maroof and nahy anil munkar. I want to reestablish what my father had brought to this earth. And he goes to the grave of his father. He goes to the grave of his grandfather. Oh, grandfather, they have come for me. Where shall Hussein go? They want to kill me. The swords are pointed towards tears. At that time, he sees his father, Ali, he sees Fatima, he sees Hassan, he sees Rasulullah. Hussein, we have come to take you. Imam Hussein says, take me now. I don't want to be in this world. It's too difficult. The Prophet says, Hussein, do you not want to get that level of jihad that will give you the best gift possible? He will say, just a little bit more time. You need to do some sacrifices, Hussein. You need to go back. Soon you will be with me. Imam Hussein wakes up with a jolt. He runs home. He says, oh Zainab, oh Umm Kulthum, oh Sakina, get prepared. They all surround him. History tells
كما صلى على